the place where they can be employed. We not only support the children at our center, we also refer out. So I must say that the places that we've referred our children to, and they've supported those children in employment and thriving, not only just putting them by the wayside. One of them is at the Learning Place, and the second is at Pleasant Places, and they are thriving. You know, they know their limitations, they know their challenges, and they are willing to give them accommodations in the employment area. So this is what we want to encourage today, to give light into what our children can do when we surround them, when they are in the right environment and they are supported by individuals that understand their needs. So we are looking at, Patricia will be taking emotional wellness support for neurodivergent individuals in the workplace. You heard her yesterday and how she was able to give an insight into her experience in the workplace. So is the video ready? Can we start with that video just to show them, give them an idea?
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. So what will you say?
Good morning,
Good morning, that's morning.
At the center with a head. Then we progressed. That is our own Nigerian Asdan. Ching ching. Yes, we progressed and we began to move from one stage to another. You can see that she went with a job coach. She didn't go on her own. We went with a job coach. We taught the people in the salon how to relate with her. And gradually she began to, understand the pathway in which she would, become better and better. And it's practice. Remember, our children don't only learn once. We have to do continuous practice. We have to be patient. We have to be loving. You can see the smile on her face when she's doing the work. So that is what we encourage, and that's what we want to see with our children. That's why today we have here Anthony. He is painting today. We also have MM, who is sewing. She sews a dress a day. She's interning at Rough and Tumble. So you can imagine that's how we allow our children to progress over time. It's not about what we want. It's what our children can do. Thank you. I hand over the mic now to Patricia.
Very much for choosing this particular session. So I'll start with this. We're all here most of us are looking at it from the angle of support for or interest in people who have autism, or perhaps you're a caregiver for someone who has autism or some other neurodivergent condition, or you're simply interested in knowing more about these kind of conditions so that you can raise awareness and you can make the world a more inclusive place. So for the business people, let me start off. There's nothing to lose. There's absolutely nothing to lose from taking the risk of hiring people who are neurodivergent. It could be autism, it could be ADHD, it could be dyslexia, it could be any other kind of situation where um, an employee might be needing more support to do their work. By more support, I mean accommodations. So we're getting to a point very soon when um, employers will no longer be able to be to dismiss people who are neurodivergent and generally people who are disabled, because with the way the labor market is going, you're not going to be able. You're going to need as many hands as you can. You're going to be begging for neurodivergent people to join your workforce. Also, if you get them to join you, the gains for you are that, okay, for starters, case in point, what he's doing there, when neurodivergent people pick what they are good at doing, when the parents and when their, their friends, everyone who knows and supports them are able to figure out the areas where they are great at, you discover that, well, let me not pander to what the media pushes about autistic people. We are not all geniuses. We're not all savants. We're very different. Not all of us are great at math. Not all of us are great at art. We all have the different areas where we shine. But one thing we are all very good at is being very observant and being very good with details. Now, if you're doing art and if you're an artistic person, you would know that, or if you're an employer, if you're in the art business and you have an artist who is neurodivergent, you have gold on your hands. Why am I trying with this? Why am I trying to sell this to employers? Because at the end of the day, all of this talk I'm going to do, I need people who are employers of labor to be able to be confident, to feel relaxed enough to take the risk of hiring neurodivergent people. Okay, so let's start. So the topic here is autism accommodations in the workplace. So I'm using autism, and this may be very applicable to other kinds of neurodivergent conditions like ADHD. I mean, I personally have a friend who has ADHD. I don't know if many of you know how hard it is to get into Google, to work in Google, whether it's some other international representation or the headquarters. It is very hard. So this person got in, and normally if any one of us or most young people here get into Google, their minds will be like, I die here, I'm not going anywhere. This is where I'm going to be to the end of my career until someone kicks me out. But he had to leave because he has ADHD. He's living with ADHD. For the rest of his life, he's always going to have ADHD. And he cannot function. Google is a very progressive company, by the way. Very, very progressive. Very, very progressive. Yet, he quits. So it is not simply about doing all you can as a parent or as an employer to get ready to prepare your child for the workforce, or as an employer to do all the sensitivity training, all the arrangements, all the accommodations, and be like, okay, we are ready, let neurodivergent people come. You have to have systems in place so that when neurodivergent people, so I'll use ND form, now the neurodivergent thing is very long. When ND people come into your workplace, that they stay, that they're not frustrated, they don't leave immediately after. Okay, so neurodiversity, next slide please. What that means really is a difference in how we interact with the world, with how we receive information, with how we process information. For example, let me use something most of us may be familiar with, grief. Now, if an autistic person hears that a family member has died, I don't know how, I know we Nigerians, no offense, I mean, we all process grief differently, but we Nigerians tend to be very dramatic when something sad has happened. An autistic person could hear that someone they care about very much has died, and they're just going to be quiet. There's no display of emotion that you can see. They're not processing it the way that you expect that they should process it, but they are in fact dealing with it on their own. So it's unfair to judge them that, oh, you just heard this person has died, or you're just looking, you're just going about your day. No, we process things differently. Also, we would go about communication in a different way, well, in different manners than neurotypical people would go. Our brain receives, everything is intense. Everything we experience is intense. If it's sound, if it's light, many things that many people would just, we just get information in a different way. We experience life in a different way than other people. And there are positives to it. There are many strengths to it that we can latch on to. There are also many drawbacks to it because we're still existing in a world where most people are not even aware about neurodivergent conditions or neurodiversity, to talk of being able to support and respect people who are neurodiverse. So autism is, yeah, I've already spoken about autism. Please, next slide. Next slide, please. Okay, I'm going to go over, next slide, next slide, um, next slide. Okay, so the slides that I just jumped are some terms, there are some terminologies that I don't want to waste too much time on. I'm hoping that everyone here is genuinely interested in learning more about autism so that if you're an employer of labor, I started off this conversation saying there is gold in hiring autistic people correctly and in keeping them hired. There is literally gold in having them on your team. If you are a parent and you have there are different levels of support that autistic people would need. There are also different, I mean, I could be in front of lights and I'm just squinting and I could just back away, or I just manage. And some other autistic person could be surprised by lights and they have a brief meltdown or a very long meltdown. By that I mean they could start screaming or something along that line of action. So autism presents itself in different ways. Now you as a parent, a caregiver, you understand the level, you understand the kind of support, you understand the strengths of your child. As a parent, you understand the strengths of your child more than anyone else because you've watched this child, you know where they can shine, and you know what triggers them. Now, me personally, I would say I'm on this stage. My parents do not know that I'm autistic. I've never opened my mouth before to tell them that I'm autistic. I have told my brother because he's about my age, he's more progressive. It makes more sense for me to give him that information because I know the information will be meaningful to him. My parents got all the information from when I was small, reports back from primary school and all of that, but they just thought maybe she's just an introvert. She just doesn't like playing with people, doesn't like being around people, and I'm fine. That they can rest with that information for life. I don't mind. So if you're a parent, however, that has gotten an autism diagnosis for your child, and I would advise you that once that child can understand, can communicate to a certain extent, please let them know that they are autistic and explain to them some of the strengths and some of the limitations that they would possess because they are autistic. As best as you can, explain to them that they are autistic. You're going to be doing them a big favor. I know they can see all your running around, all your helping, all your support, but you need to let them know, especially when they're like maybe 7, 5, very young children. Let them know that they are autistic. Oh my God, I just realized I'm talking too fast. Okay. So now, if you know that, say, for instance, you would desire for your child to feel some independence, you should be preparing that child with your. I'm not a parent. I'm not giving anybody advice that they should quote me on, but you should be preparing that child for a life of independence as much as you can. So what I have noticed is a lot of, and it's probably something I would do. I'm not judging anyone. It's probably something I would do because of the kind of nature I feel I have. If I have a child that is autistic, which I most likely would anyway, is I would probably be parenting from a place of fear. Let me just say a place of fear. Everything is threat-driven. You're running around making sure they don't injure themselves. You're making sure that they don't do something bad. You're just protecting them, protecting them, protecting them. If you want to prepare a child for the workplace as a parent, one, I won't call it a simple or basic way, but one easy way that you can go about that is you go about using autonomy supportive parenting. What that means is that you give the child some independence or the feeling of independence. You're going out to the supermarket, you be like, okay, where should we go to today? Should we go to Spa? Should we go to Adidas in the neighborhood? Should we go to ShopRite? Where would you like us to go to today? And try and eventually go with their choice. So it could be also, that's planning. You're making the child feel like they're in charge of planning. That is a transferable skill that they will feel over time confident enough and can be useful for them when they get older and want to get jobs. It could be a job, it could be a job at the barbing salon, it could be a job at the bank, it could be a job wherever, it could be a job making art. But these kind of skills, communication skills, don't speak to them from a place of too much coddling, too much protection. Give them some feeling of independence, like they are making decisions in the house, like they're helping you to plan things, like they're in charge of certain things, even if you know that you are still supporting them. So all of that confidence is going to, and you still know that your child needs support. It's not denial. We're not practicing denial. I'm not encouraging denial. I'm just saying that as best as your child's level of support would allow you, let the child have the feeling of control over small things that you feel safe letting them have control over. It's going to be really helpful. All the cuddling, all the, oh, I hope they don't do something bad, or I hope they don't injure themselves, I hope somebody doesn't do something bad to them in public. You have to, as best as you can, as safely as possible, let them have some control. Let them know how to be diplomatic. Most autistic people are black and white. Myself, I'm very black and white sometimes. You ask me a question, I'm not interested in playing about, especially when it's out of work. I just tell you, this is my answer. Very blunt. But if you're going to have, if you have a child, maybe the child is requiring a little support, and you can see that maybe you didn't have to put the child in, like myself, I went to normal schools. I don't know if that was the best for me because I had faced a lot of bullying because of that, but I went to normal schools. By normal schools, I'm referring to, I didn't go to a school like Patrick's. I went to a school that was designed for neurotypical people. So if you have a child who could somehow survive that, I don't know if I survived that, I think I did, you would be encouraging that child from the house with your conversations to not be black and white all the time. You're teaching the child how to be diplomatic so that he can survive at work. Because work, life, everything is a game. So as much as you can from when the child, I'm going to how employers can support, but the first point of contact with any autistic person, with any autistic child, with any child even, is the parent or the caregiver. You have to prepare that child to have certain skills that are going to be transferable when they get to the age where they may decide to go into the workforce. Now, if you're an employer of labor, you want to be progressive, you want to look good for certain brands that are your stakeholders, or you simply are genuinely interested in making your workforce open to, or your workplace open to neurodivergent people, it's not enough that you have everything in place. You have, if it's, maybe you have toilets that people on wheelchairs can use, you have ramps, your facility would not have any issues with any law in Nigeria. You seem very progressive. You've done all the sensitivity trainings for your employees. It's not enough. I think that as an employer of labor who wants to hire and keep it, because autistic people excitedly will get into the workforce. Many disabled people would get into the workforce excitedly, but they don't stay. Many people don't stay. Even uni, I almost dropped out after 100 level or 200 level because I kept on getting 2/30 in my maths test, and I was like, I'm not doing it again. Because that was engineering maths. I was like, I'm not doing it, I'm just going home. Many of us are going to be overwhelmed by, I was getting all those calls because I wasn't going to class, because there was too much noise. I went to a public school. There was too much noise, there was too much rowdiness, there was too much going on around me. I did not understand why I was always confused. I would just stay back, and because I didn't go for any class, I was not interested in hustling to buy the manuals, I was almost always failing. If the pass mark was 40 over 100, I would get 41 or 42. That's how I managed with engineering maths. I still finished with a 2-1 though. So if you have the intentions to hire a person who is autistic, please prepare your prepare their colleagues, because their colleagues are going to be their direct interfaces. You as the CEO, you as the executive management who is making that decision, your board members have said, okay, it's fine, we can take the risk. Let's start with maybe a junior professional. If your intention is to truly be progressive, these are some of the things that you can do. First of all, you have to do, sensitivity trainings are important, but don't do them like a tick the box activity. Don't just invite one consultant who will just give one lecture and that's the end. Incorporate it into your corporate communications. Daily, make your culture a culture of inclusivity. You're preparing your workplace to be friendly enough to be happy, to be a happy place for people who are neurodivergent. Case in point, first, you need to be, they need to be able to identify people who are autistic. So some of the, please, can we go to the slide before this one? Some of the traits that autistic people present, and many times they carry with them to the workplace, is that they are very honest. I have someone who sits down beside me, I'm 100% sure is autistic. If you ask him a question, he's just going to tell you the answer. And sometimes it's very comedic because, most people will be diplomatic about certain things, but he will just tell you the answer. We, when I am, so when I work, I'm in HR, so when I'm upset, I do not leave the room. I probably just keep quiet. But many autistic people, depending on their level of support needed, when they're upset by maybe their sensitivities, or they're triggered by someone who is physically upsetting them, they want to leave the environment. They don't want to be around the environment because it's probably either that or they get violent. I used to have a manager who used to complain that I don't used to look at her eyes, and I'm like, what am I looking for inside your eyes? What did I keep there? But I saw that it was something that was important for her. So I had to tell her that I'm really sorry. I promise I'm listening to you when I'm looking away. I just don't feel comfortable looking at your eyes. She was like, oh, are you shy? I was like, no, I'm not shy. I just don't want to look at your eyes. Many people believe that when you're looking at their eyes, that means the communication is real, the communication is sustained, and you're listening to them. Most autistic people do not like, it's too much. They're either not looking at your eyes at all, they're looking at your eyes and you may be creeped out. Yes, I've already implied often seen as too blunt. I'm still very blunt in certain situations, especially when there's very little to lose, especially when I'm not in a work situation. So may be seen as having too many boundaries. So this applies to like relationships, friendships, familial relationships as well. Many autistic people or many neurodivergent people, it's very common for them to say, I put this here. I have an aunt who is autistic, by the way. There's nothing she will put somewhere that she will not remember how she left it. If breeze blows the thing a little bit, she will know something has happened there. So many autistic people have many boundaries. They also have boundaries with how you talk to them. An autistic person, especially someone who is on the level of autism as myself, will not be too uncomfortable to tell you, please don't touch me. And it's not like I'm not fighting with you, like just please don't touch me. I can hear you, I can see you, and then I'll try to laugh it off so that at the end of the day we still end up playing and the person doesn't walk away from my front thinking that we are fighting. But I'm like, please don't touch me, and like in the future, don't worry, you understand, I can hear you. So we have boundaries like that. We could be like, someone could be trying to have a conversation in an area where we're not comfortable sharing. Meanwhile, with other people, it's normal banter. But if you're trying to have certain conversations with me in certain areas, I'll be like, could we not, I'm not interested in this, let's talk about something else. Because I work in HR, in a traditional field, where there's still a lot of old people that you must respect. And there's still, no offense, I didn't mean that in any way, there's still young people who were raised by these old people who have the values of the old people. So to manage relationships in the workplace, while you are being yourself, your authentic self as an autistic person, you would notice that you still see that's where masking comes in. Actually, all of these are identifiers of autistic people. In case you have autistic people working with you and you don't know, you just think maybe they're just odd, they're just weird, they're not friendly. It's not that. It's not really about you. It's just the way they're experiencing the world. So yeah, small talk. I don't like small talk. If I'm doing small talk with you, I'm either excited. It's always a selfish angle for me. I'm either excited about what we're talking about, or I genuinely like you and I want to continue talking with you. I'm not going to do small talk with you unless I have an angle, unless I have something to gain from it. It's very exhausting for me. Like, it's actually painful. So yes, even when we have excellent ideas, I still struggle with this. Sometimes I keep quiet because I don't want to sound stupid. But when I got into the workforce, I noticed something. No offense to the men, what I'm about to say. So where I work, they never hesitate to share their ideas. No matter how wonderful the idea is, no matter how out of line the idea is, very loudly and confidently, they will announce it. So when I learned that, I was like, all these people are not saying too much, why am I have better ideas than this, why am I not speaking up? So I learned to speak up. I learned to be like, oh, please, can I say something? Sometimes I catch myself being a little bit aggressive, trying to make my point, and I try to check it. Sometimes I'm able to successfully make my point without being aggressive, because sometimes I have to be like, I'm here, I want to say something, please. So please, next slide. So yeah, we might have good ideas, but the thing is all jumbled up in our head. We're either maybe a bit too anxious to say it. You might have colleagues like that you'd be like, I mean, Corey, why do you mentioned this in our chat earlier. Why don't you talk about this in a meeting now? And they're like, I think it's not the way we're talking about it. Looking at it now, it's one kind. So I already mentioned doesn't like being touched. I don't like being touched, even with my mom. If I'm hugging my mom, she will know maybe someone has broken up with me or I've lost money or something. I don't touch her, she doesn't touch me. If I'm touching her, she'll be like, what's going on here? What do you want? And that's my mom, supposed to be the closest person to me. So yeah, I have a peculiar interest. 2 days ago, I was ordering some stuff online, and then I saw a mini reference dictionary, and then I bought it, those small Oxford, those pocket dictionaries. And then I made a video and I sent to a friend of mine, and I was very excited, and they were like, later you say you're not Gen Z. You're excited like a 3-year-old over a dictionary that you don't buy a dictionary for you when you're small. Like, no, I've always been interested in things like this, and something like this. Like, I was trying to express my excitement about something as simple as a dictionary, and they didn't get it. I like to paint. I'm always going to be interested in painting. I have the weirdest paintings of Picasso imitations in my room, something that someone will come in and say, this thing looks like a demon. I love abstract art. I love things that most people will not find interesting at all. Most autistic people are like that. So if you have a colleague who is like that, who is always liking weird things, they show you something that they saw online, oh, look at this, and they're excited, and you're like, okay. So we're good on noticing trends. We're good at picking on patterns. If you have an autistic or a neurodivergent person as your friend, you're probably having someone on your side who can smell BS from afar. When they tell you, I feel a certain way about this person, most of the time they're right. It's because most of us perform, especially if you mask, like I'm masking now, pretending to be comfortable talking in front of everyone. Most of us mask. So we know when somebody is acting. We always know when somebody, all those people that everybody seems to like in the office or in church or somewhere, we always know when that person is just full of, we just know. And it's something I've noticed that we're always right on that. So, so opinions can appear very black and white. So if you like them, you could advise them on how to be diplomatic a little bit, because that's the only way they can really progress in the workplace. They have problems with time management. If you're not very clear when you're giving instructions, even when you are clear giving instructions, you mess up time a lot. Maybe we don't hear alarms, maybe we forget to set alarms, etc., all of that. So if you're a manager of a person who is very good at their job, the quality of their job is very good compared to other people who do the same thing, but somehow they always miss deadlines, or they almost jeopardize your own submission of work, maybe as a manager or as a more senior person. The person might be autistic, the person might be neurodivergent, the person might have ADHD. So needs to be given instructions very explicitly. So me personally, if you're giving me an instruction and you tell me, you just ramble a bit, you talk, I'll be like, you're about to set me up. Could you please send me an email outlining very briefly that this is what you want me to submit at so and so time, and this is how you want me to do it? You might not get anything out of me that is solid. So you have to be very clear with your instructions. Um, yeah. Okay, so some reasonable work, you want to hire an autistic person, you want them to be happy, because for me, when I think of emotional wellness, I think of real, genuine happiness. And for an autistic person, happiness, just as sadness can be very intense for us, happiness can be very intense for us. So if you can create an environment where we can be happy, you're doing us you're doing us a favor. Like everything, life is extra beautiful. So if an autistic person has decided to work in a place and put themselves forward to work in a place where they have to interact and see a lot of people every day. Um, it's a decision that they're probably making because they want to be financially independent. They want to try out what financial independence looks like because they want some control, or they want to derive the joy that you would get in solving problems for organizations or for individuals. Now, fully remote work or flexible work arrangements, like work from home, maybe a hybrid situation, would be very nice to consider if you are preparing your workplace to hire, no matter how small or big your setup is. Whether you are the CEO of an oil and gas company, or you are the owner of a hair salon, or you're the owner of a tailoring shop, if you are preparing to hire an autistic person, and you know that the person is autistic, whether they have disclosed directly or someone has disclosed, or you know the signs, or you can feel like, I want to get the best quality of work from this person I'm hiring. I need to be able to tell this person that, Taiwo, or whatever the person's name could be. It's fine if sometimes you do some of your work at home and then you bring the work for us to continue here. It's fine if sometimes you work on your own machine at home. Then basically you don't have to join us here every day. Now that kind of arrangement has to be discussed with other colleagues, so the other colleagues do not give them grief, especially if the other colleagues do not have that kind of arrangement. You have to discuss that arrangement with the other colleagues so that they can still work together and doesn't look like you're giving them any extra favors. I don't know how that will work with Nigerians, but there's nothing correct communication cannot do. So yeah, let people keep their cameras off during meetings. Most autistic people, when they first get into the workforce, maybe as graduate trainees, or they get in entry level, they're not yet at the level where they've seen that there's a game to play and they have to play it correctly. They just want to show up to work, dress fine, go to work, press computer, and then go home. There's no responsibility yet. There's there's very little consequences for when they do their jobs wrong. There's very little praise or that goes to them yet at that level when they do their jobs right. So they might not understand certain things. Many young people would say, please, they would prefer if they don't have to turn on their videos during Microsoft Teams meetings or Google Meet. Maybe they want to go, or they could be like, please, could I turn on my video briefly so everyone could see my face and then I turn it back off? If the situation permits, please let that be something that everybody in the organization encourages. Then, where possible, share agendas for meetings so that they can be prepared beforehand. What I mean by this is, if you can, especially if they're going to speak, give them an agenda, let them prepare so that they already have anxiety. They are probably already going to have anxiety just by speaking. So you're helping them, because we're very good at research. So if we don't know the research, we know what we're talking about. It could help us be less anxious when we're speaking to our colleagues. So don't surprise them that, there's a meeting tomorrow, you're presenting, make some slides. Or there's a meeting tomorrow, you're going to, try as much as possible to give them time to prepare. So yeah, allow them work at their own pace. Now this is a gray area depending on the industry. Some industries are very fast-paced, especially when you're working with a consulting company, whether it's a Big Four or an indigenous consulting company. But there are always ways around this. Bearing this in mind, knowing that it is great if you have if you give autistic people or neurodivergent people the opportunity to work at their own pace, you would be helping them do quality work. And okay, so let me place like give an example. You know that let's say today is 1st of April. Today is the 1st of April, and there's work that you need to give to a client on the 12th. So April 1st, let's say the work gets to you April 1st. You tell this autistic employee that could we walk at your own pace, but I need these ASAP. Could we get your first draft on the 5th? Basically, you know where the end point or the deadline is, but because you know how time management is with them and how deadlines are, you manage them so that you still get the best work out of them, but you're giving them some space to do intense work, faff a bit, do intense work, all of that, and you still get your money from them. By your money from them, I mean you're paying them salaries. So there's also the autism awareness training. Now, autism awareness training, it could be useful, it could also be a very pointless activity, depending on the audience receiving the autism awareness training. If you bring in people to come to your organization and you tell them, maybe you bring in consultants, you're like, okay, please, I'd like you to talk to managers first. We're going to start hiring neurodivergent people. I would like you to train them on how to relate with them so that they have an enjoyable work experience. If you're talking to a crowd that is very set in their own current knowledge, there isn't so much that all those trainings can do, but it is good to do them. You might be, resetting someone's ideologies on certain things, but they are not the solution to anything, especially for people who are very, some people are very stubborn. They don't want to unlearn things. It's not about, they're not being malicious, it's just the way they are. They don't like change. They don't want to change anything they've always known. But you can still try. This is very good, especially for younger people. It's very easier, it's much more easier for them to change what they've always believed about people. Then break tasks into smaller chunks. Don't overwhelm autistic people. And then provide access to quiet areas. In my workplace, we have a place we call a nap room. So I go there when I've been talking for too long, doing work, of course, not chatting or gisting. Or I have been working for too long. I've been hearing people for too long. I try to control what I hear when I'm at work. I either listen to music, so I know that it's just the music I'm looking at, or I just block my ears. But when I cannot do that, I need to be away for some time to relax, to recover from all of the stimuli that I've been getting from left and right. And I just go there, stay there for maybe 15 minutes, 20 minutes. I come back and continue. Next slide, please. Okay, so this is a quote by Paul Collins. It says, "Autists are the ultimate square pegs. And the problem with pounding a square peg into a round hole is not that the hammering is hard work. It is that you're destroying the peg. If you're going to hire an autistic person, please prepare everyone to receive the autistic person so that they don't get excited for a few weeks and then they're dropping a resignation letter because they're uncomfortable or they feel like they're not being supported or they feel like they're not doing enough work or they're not accepted or received the way they are by their colleagues. So try not to change them. Instead, adjust your workplace to accommodate them and accommodate what, the situation the situations that would allow them to work optimally. So thank you very much, everyone, for listening. I hope that if you're an employer of labor, you would look into hiring neurodivergent people after this meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Patricia. Just hold on. Is Ms. Akonde coming up to add anything? For question and answer, questions from the room? Okay, I have a question. Now I see you with vibrancy. I'm asking myself, are you truly a person with autism?
I already told you I'm performing.
Yeah, I find it difficult to believe. I mean,
Yeah.
how did your parents develop you to this extent that it's hardly showing. That's number one. Number two, for a child with autism who does not have speech and is severe and wants to train, how easy would that journey be for the person to train and for the colleagues? How do you match up? Because if you are saying support and we assume he's hearing but he can't talk, how do you measure up and how do you communicate? Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, I'll take the one of non-verbal, the child that is not speaking. You saw the video of one of our children in the salon, right? She has words but doesn't use it. So that tells you that look, speech is relative. Communication is important. If Jasmine walks in here, and you don't know that she doesn't speak,
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. So what will you say?
Good morning,
Good morning, Jasmine.
mentally and physically tired. Getting up here yesterday was it was a lot for me. Standing here, I think over time, especially when I had a phase in my life where I was bullied by everybody, and where if someone was even remotely nice to me, I would be too grateful. And that's why I said, if you can communicate to your child that they're autistic, please let them know so people do not take advantage of them, presenting friendships or presenting niceness, and they don't get too excited and, too grateful, if you know what I mean. So I think for me, it's my experience using all the strength and all the anger from the period in my life when I was bullied, when I couldn't speak up for myself, when I let a lot of things slide. And also, I have chosen to work in HR. When you work in HR, even if you're a neurotypical, there are some things, there's a lot of performing that is going on because you're working for the employees, you're also working for executive management. If you want to keep your job, if you want to be productive, if you want to give excellent results, you cannot, there needs to be a balance in your behavior. So I have, what's the simple answer to your question now? Autism presents itself in many different ways. And I'm able to stand here because I have allowed myself to believe certain things about human beings, especially in recent times. And I've realized that there isn't really too much to be scared of because all of us sitting down here were scared. I used to be very scared to speak in front of people. I would literally forget what I'm about to say. But I got older, I watch a lot of movies, I sometimes read books, and I realized that everybody is scared. And when I keep that in the back of my head, I'm like, all of us were scared. Some people are just better at hiding it than other people. So it helps a lot to speak to people. And I know that I'm doing some work in the background. I'm not an extrovert. I'm never going to be an extrovert. There are many downsides to that. I promise you, so many downsides to that. But the upsides are that I can partner. If I want to do some work, I can partner with an extrovert. I can partner with a social butterfly. If I want to get work done, I can just pick, okay, I want to do some work. We need to do so and so things. Please be my partner because I know you like noise, you like attention, but I don't like attention. I'm never going to like attention. So when I know my weaknesses, I can make up for all of that. But all of this is performing. And when I get home today, I don't know when I'm going to wake up when I sleep because I'm going to be very tired. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Are there questions online? Do we have any person online who wants to drop any question for us? No question online. Thank you very much. In the house,
Right, thank you.
there are no questions. Thank you too. Patricia, well done. Please celebrate her. Celebrate her, celebrate her, celebrate her. Thank you. You are a strong woman and we are proud of you. Put your hands together one more time for her. Keep taking ownership of your story. That is when we tell the stories on the strength of what a person with IDD is doing. That's when we'll change the narrative. That's when we'll change the stereotypes. And I'm happy that this is a good story that should be pushed out. So when we see our children or anywhere we find them, Anthony is also there. He's almost done with his artwork. That's another good story to keep pushing out. So for parents, we'd like to encourage you. For caregivers, we'd like to encourage you. It's time to change the narrative. Shade?
It is indeed time to change the narratives. You remember Najite Dede yesterday said if we don't write, we need to write our stories to ourselves. It is important so that people will know what's up with us and how to relate with us. She talked about excitement. She talks about being sad. I was just seated there, imagining the people that I work with in Lagos Television, the people I've worked with before in AIT, the other things that I've ever done, and people that I've related with and supported. Sometimes you see some people, you say, "What's wrong with this one? Is she not full of herself and all that? Why is she not crying? Why is she not showing emotion? Emotions and all that. You don't know what the person is going through at that particular time. So we should learn, like doctor said, to relate with people. The community, empathize, and work on that. So that's a wonderful session. We are encouraged at this point to stretch our legs. We can move around. While we await our other participants from or want to join us. We can still go to the exhibition booths. It is open for us. They are here for us. And I know that we can gain a lot of things from there. Thank you.
Okay, while we are waiting the arrival of other participants from the three breakout sessions, like Shade said, you can decide to take a stroll. You can decide to, for the online audience, feel free to also check out what is happening at the exhibition stand. Okay, I can read some comments. Great job, Patricia. Patricia, can you hear that? Another person, Ijoma, says, amazing strength. And from Ayo Bami, Patricia, she said she's got you with plenty claps. Thank you and well done. We are proud of you. That's from Babatunde Smith. Okay. More comments are coming in. And we have great job. Patricia, that's for you. We also have, thanks so much, Patricia. That's another comment coming in from Ayobami Ogundipe. Okay, I have read from Agnes said, well done. Ijoma said she is a beautiful testimony. To God be the glory. And we have, wow, well done, Anthony. Somebody dropped a message for you. I actually noticed when he started the work shortly before the breakout session. God bless you, dear Anthony. Put your hands together for Anthony. Somebody got you there. For Anthony, Ayobami is just clapping for you. Remy said, please, I will need the copy. The copy of what? Remy, you need to please help us state. I will need the e-copy. E-copy of, I guess, the feedback. Should that be the feedback? Remy, please can you drop another message so I know what you're referring? Okay, the link to the feedback will be sent shortly. That's the reply. Please hold on, Remy. It will get to you. And I'm not seeing anything yet. Coach. Okay, this is from who? Is it Rita? Awo Bajo. Okay, please can you confirm if you can see anything again? Thanks, Coach. If you see anything, please drop and let's know if there's an update. Kudos, what a testimony. That's from Adeshola. And from Ijoma, you blew my mind talking about Patricia's presentation. Can we have a recording of this? Technical team, can we have a recording? If we have that of yesterday, okay, we can. For the link for yesterday, can we drop it on the chat in the chat room so that at least they know we got them covered. Then for this new one that is ongoing, if it's ready, we can drop it. If it's not ready, please share your emails with us to be sent to you after this meeting. Okay? Kudos, what it says. She blew my mind. She did blow my mind too. Wow, that's from Ijeoma again. And from Babatunde, thank you and well done. We are proud of you. All of us in the room are also proud of Patricia. Keep the comments coming so we know that you are actually there participating, just like we are also here, you know, live in the room here at Harbour Point in Victoria Island, Lagos. Of course, as we await the presence of our colleagues from the other rooms, permit me to say that there's another interesting side to empowering every voice in this conversation at the second edition of the Intellectual Disability Conference that is almost about ending any moment soon. That is Roundtable with Siblings. Even I'm standing here, I don't have a physical disability, but I know that sometimes, not even sometimes, almost all the time, I've had issues with my siblings. Sometimes they are really strong issues that our parents will take sides, or sometimes they don't even take sides, especially when parents have favorites. It's usually something crazy when issues arises with siblings. So it would be nice to listen to the next conversation where we'll be dealing with siblings and what needs to be done. We await the arrival of, okay, they are coming in already. As they come, the moderator is already standing by so that she can kickstart the next conversation on siblings rivalry. Maybe I should ask a few people in the hall, how do you deal with siblings rivalry? Okay. Okay, before the siblings rivalry, we will go for award, but because the hall is not properly constituted again, we'll just wait. Let me ask you, how do you deal with siblings rivalry? When you fight among yourselves, is it daddy that will take side or mommy that will take side, or what?
Basically, I think the parent actually sets the tone for how siblings actually settle rivalry among themselves. So parents that actually, show greater love for one child than the other and make it obvious that they are more interested in one particular child than the other one, they make it difficult for the siblings to settle amongst themselves, you know. And you would always have, most especially in Africa where we have many parents who, for grown-up people like me, you have parents who are actually, what do you call it now? They are polygamous. They practice polygamy, all right? And but among the siblings of the same mother, this still also happen. You see that? So, and there will always be issue between siblings. Serious issue, okay? But they would be able to handle their situation if the parent from childhood has set a tone of, see, when you have issues, you have to learn how to resolve it. And when you see those siblings practicing that, when they even grow up and their parents are not there, it is easy for them to settle issues among themselves. For me, practical example now, I grew up having my junior sister, you know, because we didn't grow up together. At the time, she was brought back. Sometimes she's just angry and she would take my, water for bath, pour it away. I've seen her do a whole lot of things. So I just said to myself, this person has not been with me. She needs to be loved. You see that? I kept showing her that. And when she had the confidence to, confide in me and all of that, she built that trust and she related with me well. Thank you.
Okay, the parents sets the tone. I remember that one of the things that have resonated in this room is the issue of family. Family plays a key role in all of this. And that's where the parents don't set the tone. That's when we begin to have issues.
We are getting set for the next segment, which is the awards. So we await the arrival of the other participants from the first hall. We want them to join us so that we'll move to the next segment. And of course, after that, we'll do the round table with siblings. It will be moderated by Omotoke Olubode. So we await the arrival of every other participant so that we can go on to the next segment of the program.
Feedback of what? Please, can you be specific so that the technical crew can provide answer online? Please, I need feedback of what was taught. There have been different sessions here. Which particular session are you referring to, Theresa? Can you be more specific? Thank you. Or do you mean all that have been taught? Okay, you already have a response from the technical crew. Drop your mail and all of the presentations will be sent to you, including the links.
Any other comment from people online?
We did not get the link to the feedback form. Technical crew, please can you respond? Has the link been shared online? We have people dropping their emails now. Please share the feedback, soft copy of the feedback form so it can be filled. For us in the hall, if you have not picked a copy of the feedback form, can you please raise up your hand so that the ushers can, usher 2, 3 there. We have 4. Please raise it above your head so that
we have 5 people.
The ushers can send it across to you. Okay. We saw a video when Mrs. Akonde was presenting her breakout session, and earlier, look towards your left. The fashion designer. Please, can
Let's
you
appreciate her.
the video people, can you?
Well done, Amen. So now we are going to move into the final step, which is the fixing of elastic. Elastic.
She's been on knees for 1 hour, and is almost done now. We want to see her match the machine. Okay, please clear the space and let's see The same video you watched earlier, is live in the hall now. She's been on this particular, is a dress? Is it a dress?
A gown.
Okay, it's a gown, and she's sewing it. Yes, a gown is a dress. She's been sewing it for 1 hour now. Please, can the camera zoom in on her? Or is it the positioning? I'm seeing myself and I'm not seeing Close in on her. Are you the one on her or you are the one on her? I'm not seeing Where's the camera? Okay, that's you. Please, can you move closer to her so that we can see her? We can't see her at all. The crowd of people have overshadowed her. If I want to match the machine like how long do I need to do this?
It depends, ma. Maybe a month. For some people, it's a month.
Okay.
Some people, 2.
Okay. How about the cutting of the material?
3 months.
Okay. And
Yes,
joining
ma'am.
everything together.
6 months.
So has been on this for how long?
For years.
Okay. So it takes patience and dedication to get her to be this perfect. So parents should be patient. We're still not seeing or is it the background? Camera is not picking her well. We have field of people blocking her. Can we reposition the camera? Okay. Dr. Delphine, please. It's time for award. Yes, I'm handing over the microphone to you. I can pass. Background. That's what is distorted. Time for our words.
Good afternoon, everyone. You know, usually I'm one person, I don't like to be the focal person. I just like to do the work from the background. But this afternoon, I have the honor and the privilege to present some awards to some outstanding people in our disability space. We actually sent out a deed poll on social media and asked people to vote for people they felt had done a lot of work. in the disability space. We don't even know some of them, but at least from the results of the poll, we chose to give awards to people who have been nominated and vetted. This award is actually from a donation. This set of awards is actually a donation from Dr. Kimberly Jones Schollard's Sisters Foundation, her late sister's foundation. And we felt that we needed to honor her by giving these awards to these people. So I would first like to call on Chief Chris Iko. And I'd like to call on the, sir, please join me on the podium. I'd like to call, he will be giving the award to Iniobong Sam. Like I said, I don't know the person, so who is representing Iniobong Sam? Anyone representing Iniobong Sam? This person, I think, lives in Jos or something like that. Who is representing Iniobong Sam? Anyone? So can I ask somebody, favor, whoever, to please come and receive this award on their behalf? We'll find a way to get it across to him. Oh, the person is here. Where is the person? Yes, the award to Iniobong Sam is for a support system, both offline and online, to parents and children. You know, a lot of our parents, they just require a lot of support. Is the person here or not? So we can, well, we can't find who it is. Can you come and receive it on his, I don't even know if it's a woman or a man, so, you know. Yes. So on behalf of Puresouls, where is the person? Are you the one? Goodness. On behalf of Puresouls Learning Foundation, we present this to Iniobong Sam. Okay, he's a male. For his work in the supporting of both parents and children offline and online. And the award also comes with a cash prize. Thank you. Our next award goes to Ma, please. Yes, ma'am. Vicky Wilson Woko. And this award is for, sir, you can just wait for us. We'll take a picture together. Please sit down. Thank you, ma'am. This award it's for impact, knowledge, and help for special needs children. This person also lives outside of Lagos. Please come forward. Are you the one? Okay, so she's representing Vicky Wilson Woko. Where is Vicky? She lives in... Okay. Thank you, ma. Please. The award also comes with a cash prize. And please thank her very much. Please, can you stand up? I'd like to ask Dr. Annette Akinshete up, please. Mrs. Sholakwe Azazi. Sholakwe Azazi. Okay, you're here. So this award is a Parent Advocate of the Year award, and it's presented to Mrs. Sholakwe Azazi. I'm sure that some of you have seen the work of her son, Prayer, and a book which she wrote, My Friend Has Autism. And she's passionate about helping families with special needs children as she shares her life experience. Don't forget that all of these awards have been made possible by Karen Jones Graham Foundation. Karen was Dr. Scollard's twin sister.
Now you have to shake hands with me. So on behalf of the organizers, I'm really delighted to present you with this. I'm really proud of you. I'm proud of your son, David. Priye.
Your award also comes with a cash prize and a little something for you to pamper yourself with, a spa treatment. Now, there's a surprise award, and I would like Dr. Scholar to join us upstage, please. Thank you. Now, I hid this one because I didn't want anybody to see it. But this is a very special award to somebody who we're appreciating. And I'm one of the people appreciating this person. This appreciation award is presented to our outstanding employee in recognition of his continued efforts and dedication on our behalf. He has made Puresouls Learning Foundation, and by extension, Patrick Speech and Languages Center, a company better for all employees and our customers. I'd like to call on Benga Kende. Where is he? Benga Kende, to receive this award. He's there, he's shy. You can be sure that this award is very special to me as well. And it comes with a little cash award as well. Dr. Scholar, please do the honors. No, for so congratulations to everyone. Where are our awardees? They ran away. They should come and take photos with us. Where are they? Please come back so we can have a photo. Please bring your awards with you. So thank you so much. These people are outstanding. They have done fantastic work in the disability space. And we just want to honor them and to encourage everyone else and others to join us so that we can put our hands together and really have a voice. You know, like Dr. Akishete said, there's so much work to do. I was talking with Dotun at the back there, and I said, even Tourette syndrome, we haven't even started. We haven't even started. There's so much to do, and there is a lot. Ma? Remove the paper. Yes. There is just so much to do. So please, if you can join hands with us, we trust God that the work you have seen us do, we'll continue to do it. And by God's grace, this is what I plan to do for the rest of my life. So, thank you very much. So we'll just take a photo. Can Dotun join us up here, please, for a photo? She is like a locomotive on full steam. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, we move on to. Congratulations to all the awardees. We appreciate what you do in in the disability community. God bless you all.
We also specially thank Dr. Kimberly Scollard, because if she did not give this amount, we wouldn't have had this award. So please, can we have a round of applause for her? I said Karen will be smiling in heaven, for this.
Thank you, Dr. Kimberly Scholar. Let's put our hands together one more time for her. Thank you. That work is the icing on the cake.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Dr. Kimberly. So we move on to the next session and the last one for today.
Hold on. Dr. Draxon's in the house. He has a 10-minute talk. Let me hand over the microphone immediately to you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Where do I stay? Do I stay up here? Okay. So, wow, from up here, this place is bigger than I thought, actually. Okay? So, okay, yeah, thank you very much. So I just want to talk briefly about intellectual disabilities. I remain my humble self, Lucky, also known as Dr. Drugs. I want us to understand certain things that we may omit with regards to intellectual disabilities. Okay? So we'll talk about autism in about 5 to 7 minutes. Then we'll just use a minute or two to talk about Down syndrome, CP, and dyslexia. So we all know about this because I've been hearing people talk about it already. We know about autism being a developmental condition of variable severity, significantly affecting verbal and non-verbal communication and so on. Yeah. But this is where I want us to look at a little. You see, it's often it's regarded as a spectrum disorder, and this means it can present itself differently in different people, right? Now, as a scientist, for example, one may just have one of the qualities of this spectra, and some may even have, and that person may not have the others at all. So, if I'm correct, from this definition, would you permit me to personally observe that that means that everyone is actually autistic to an extent? Because if you expose people to certain stressors,